Hello, everybody. Intuition here. Thank you, as always, for making time and space for us. Today, we want to talk about how hell is a very crowded place now more than ever, and that heaven is pretty lonely because not many people are making it into heaven. And we don't mean a literal place, a place in which exists. Heaven is levitating up in the cloud somewhere, and hell is densely in the core of the earth. That is not what we mean by heaven and hell, though that would be much more simpler. What we mean by that is that hell is a place that is influenced by people, in the sense of hell as a place and a space within one's own universe. And what we consider a universe is a person. One person is their own universe based off their perception and their understanding of self, their mastery of self. And because everybody is living a completely different life, though we are all on some level experiencing the same thing, the same sun in the sky, the same moon, the same darkness, the same daytime, we are all experiencing those things incredibly differently. An incredible different perception of reality from one person to another, which makes every individual their own universe and their own master of their own universe, in the sense of I get to choose and dictate what it is that's going on within me, and then therefore project out of me what it is that is commiserate on the inside to the outside. So when we say hell is a very crowded place, what we mean by that is many people are going into the negative aspect of themselves. Meaning that if you are a master of your own universe, and you are a master of a certain understanding within yourself and within the universe itself, then that means that you could go in and out of your mastery of self, right? It is not just one thing. It is not that now I am a master of myself and I start levitating and I shoot up into the sky. No, it's not like that. It is you go into your mastery and understanding of self, and just as you go in, you go out of it. It is called being in and out of balance, the positive and the negative, the neutron and the proton, right? So heaven and hell exists based on you going out of the mastery of self. Because when you go out of the mastery of self, you are changing your energetic vibration from being a master to being powerless, to being a victim. And when you move from being the master, the powerhouse of your universe, to a victim who's powerless and does not have control over their universe, then you go into the negative aspect of self, which means that you are going into hell. Going into hell in the sense of, again, I went from a beautiful haven, the positive of what it is that I understand and know within myself to be true, and now I am being influenced by external things, external universes outside of myself, external projections that are now changing my reality in such a way that is putting me into a hell-like state. And so many people are usually very influenced by things outside of themselves, society, the universe, external circumstances, family members, friends, judgments. And so if we are influenced by those things, then we are going outside of the understanding and the mastery of selves that we have inherently within us at all times, and moving into the negative and the projection of other people's realities that then influence us, that move us out of what we know and move us into belief systems that are usually kept in place to keep us in a certain state and place that does not allow us to move back into the mastery of the self, in which we understand and know to be true. And so how that affects everybody else, which comes with the idea of heaven is a crowded place, because it's not just one universe, one individual going into hell, and everybody else is floating and levitating in the mastery of self that they know themselves to be. It is usually the idea, if one person is going out of balance within themselves, out of mastery, then what that means is they're usually going to pull everybody else around them into that negative balance with them, because misery does like company on some level, but also it takes somebody that's very strong not to go into a negative with somebody who's already in a place of a negative. The example is, if you're hanging out with a friend and that friend is depressed, it's going to be very hard on some level for you to not go into that depressed place with them. It's going to be very hard for you to be able to keep your energy separate and be able to maintain your understanding of self and not start to feel a little depressed as well. Yes, because their energy is starting to entangle with yours, and as it entangles with yours, it is starting to pull you out of your mastery and pull you into the space in which they are in, which is pulling you into the negative as well. So that soon enough, both of you are in the negative aspect of self. And in being in the negative aspect of self, that means that you're being influenced by outside circumstances that are limiting you and putting you in a state that does not allow you to rebound back into the positive, the protron aspect of yourself, which is the mastery and the knowing of all it is that you are. And so, hell is a very crowded place because it takes a very strong person to have enough boundaries within their energy, within their socialization, within their emotional intelligence, to be able to say, I see, Joe, that you were depressed. I see, Brenda, that you were depressed. I see, Billy Bob, that you were depressed. And though I have compassion, I'm not going to go into hell with you. Because 2 people in hell is like the blind leading the blind. What good would that do? If I'm able to resource myself and stay in the positive aspect of the knowing of myself, then there's a potentiality that you will start moving out of hell and start reverberating back into your mastery of self, which then therefore means that soon enough we will both be in the positive. But it is easier on some level to go into the negative than it is for you to move into the positive. And so that is why we say heaven is a very lonely place at times, because not many people are there with you. So it's almost alluring to go into hell with people, because at least, there's other people there. They don't seem like they're having a great time. But I mean, Jesus, at least there's other people there. It seems like I'm the only one here, knowing myself, understanding myself, levitating, having a great time. And so it is important to understand how we understand heaven and hell and what that truly means. And if we understand that and understand that it is really simply the synchronization of you just moving into what it is that you already know, the mastery of self, and being resourced and centered within yourself to stay there, then it gives other people the possibility to start moving out of hell and to join you into heaven. Now again, it is not that they're joining you in your universe in heaven, but they are joining energetically in their frequency, being able to be uplifted by your presence, by you holding space in your universe, for them to be uplifted in their own universe, in which you were able to join. Still through separation, because they represent something different, a different mastery of self than you. But you are both able to join each other and at least wave from the different universes that you are from, and realize that you are both there in the same space, in the same place, and not one being here and one being there in the negative aspect of self. So, just a little food for thought for today. As always, we're full of gratitude for you making time and space for us, and we wish you well wherever it is that you are at. Hell, heaven, the place in between. May you find peace. Well wishes.